this right. Ever. It's just part of our All right. Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to
We're
Suicide
here.
and Stuff. We're here. Yay.
Yeah.
Feeling
Everyone's
rough.
excited.
Feeling rough about it.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, we're not the best today.
We're not. We're both having a rough day. Where is my little window with the chat? Whatever. Let's talk about our rating.
Oh, yeah. We are rated R.
Because why?
Bad words.
Very good. Very good. Very good.
Yeah. And then, like, probably of them because this week, just me and Des. So.
And we're mad at stuff? I don't know.
No one to help us rein it in. And we cuss a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. So, yeah, there's that.
True story.
That's what you can expect today.
What are we talking about today?
Today, we are going to talk about the spectrum of suicidal thoughts, because they're not all like crisis-y and stuff, you know? And we're doing that because we had a scheduling snafu, and so we'll have Anne on another session sometime when there's less of a snafu. But we're winging it today, and it's going to be great, probably. I think
Maybe.
We're great. We'll see what it's like, right?
More biased, but you know.
Yeah. So,
what are we
introductions. We said we were going to do those.
Oh yeah, we keep trying to do those. You go first.
Okay. I am Jess. I work at Rocky Mountain Crisis Partners in Colorado, and also do a lot of sort of advocacy and research-related work around sort of the intersection of psychiatric justice, lived experience, and suicide. And Rocky Mountain Crisis Partners is the provider of the statewide crisis line and peer support line. So I do a lot of work in the peer support space as well. And I like to talk about social justice things, probably more than anyone else wants to.
I don't know.
Definitely talk about suicide more than most people want to. So,
for sure.
Des?
For sure. I'm Dese'Rae Stage. I created Live Through This, which is a series of portraits and true stories of suicide attempt survivors across the U.S. You can go look at those pictures and stories at livethroughthis.org. Jess is one of them.
I am one of them.
Yeah. Our silent third partner just arrived. I got cookies.
Silent third partner's here.
Can you say hi? I got cookies.
Belle's here. She got cookies. It's her birthday tomorrow.
It is her birthday tomorrow. She's having her last few hours of 35. Old. You old. What else do I do? I'm an attempt survivor. I run the Suicide Media Bot on Twitter. I don't know. I do other stuff. I just got into grad school.
Oh, yeah. You do lots of things.
Yeah,
we're both suicide attempt survivors. I have other kinds of crazy, which is fun. So like I hear voices and stuff, which we haven't really talked about much on here, but maybe today. We'll see.
What will they tell us?
Yeah, and we generally like rabble rouse within suicidology to various amounts of like impact. I think depending on the day.
Well, I think we're more impactful now somehow.
We're trying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so spectrum of suicidal thoughts.
There is one.
There is one. It's also like, I think it's probably different depending on how you think about suicide. Something I've been thinking about a ton since last time is that I think like having some background in philosophy and like existentialism and things like that really changes the way you think about suicide. That's very different from the field. So I can really identify with the idea of like thinking about like why would people not be suicidal more than like why are people suicidal, and our field is quite hung up on why are people suicidal. And so then the way that that spectrum shows up in my life feels different, I think, based on that too.
No, it makes total sense. I had never thought about that either, you know, until did Annie bring it up? I don't know. In our conversation. I was a philosophy minor, so thinking about dying and existence and the meaning of life is just, how could you not think about those things? Whether or not you intend on acting on them, I think thinking about suicide and you know, all that stuff is kind of like, I would almost say necessary to kind of leading a meaningful life.
Yeah. Right, and like maybe more normal than we like give it credit for being, but that's maybe another conversation. So like with the spectrum, how do you describe that spectrum of suicidal thoughts? Like what kind of language do you use to describe it?
I mean, I think it could be as simple as like not every suicidal thought is serious, because we have, but that can stand next to, not every suicidal thought is a crisis, but every suicidal thought is serious, and should be paid attention to, is what I meant to say. And those aren't mutually exclusive. You know, I could be thinking about suicide, and it could be an exploration of like philosophy and the meaning of life. Or it could be like some real dark shit, and you know, it could even be a crisis that that's a quiet crisis that can live here, that we can take care of. You know, I think there's a lot, like, the reason I wanted to have this conversation was because risk assessment is a thing that we teach everyone, and it's helpful-ish, but not really. You know, like maybe it could guide how you have a conversation, but if you're letting it lead your actions, not so much. And if, you know, you're doing your little risk assessment and it ends up in calling the cops on someone, that's not good. So that's like the reason I wanted to have this conversation about, you know, all the different times we've been suicidal, and it's been bad or it's been okay.
Yeah. Well, like so sometimes, like, I don't define myself as a person who's like suicidal, but I think maybe to other people I am. So that's kind of interesting to me too. Like, I think about suicide all the time. I don't have like crisis, like suicidal thoughts hardly ever anymore. But like, I think other people would sort of describe me as a suicidal person. And then I know people who are like chronically suicidal. And I think the intensity of their thoughts is different. So I've been thinking a lot about this, that maybe this like whole spectrum thing is more complex even than we are giving it credit for entirely. So yeah, I'm interested. I also think my lipstick is bleeding into the corners of my mouth, and it's really, really unfortunate. I'm not thinking about killing myself because of it, but I do have suicidal thoughts about things like that, like on a regular basis.
Oh my God.
Where I would be like, yeah, I could just kill myself as a response to things like this, my lipstick bleeding on a live thing. So that would be on the like low end, I guess, of the spectrum. Low intensity end of the spectrum.
That's not real, but is it a humor response, or is it like a legit?
No, it's like I could just kill myself. Like, this will be okay because I could just kill myself if it gets worse. So there's like, that's a thing.
Knowing you have options
for me, that like, having suicide as an option is super, super important to me, even in this like very low consequence setting of like well, there's a thing of me on the internet with like bleedy lipstick. So yeah.
Yeah, that's
Like
interesting.
part of the way I like get through life is by having suicide as an option.
I mean, fuck, whatever works.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh,
yeah, I don't.
so
I guess I
oh,
wonder
sorry.
too if like people think of me as like a suicidal person. I don't know. I'm not. I'm pretty like. I'm pretty doofy. I don't know. Like I walk around singing songs a lot, and then sometimes I think
Yeah.
about killing myself, and feel like all of that's fine.
Yeah.
Person.
Yeah. So then the other thing I've been thinking about in connection with this like spectrum is that I hear a lot of times people differentiating existential crisis from like a suicide crisis. And I think that's very interesting because I don't think I've ever had a suicide crisis that wasn't also an existential crisis.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess some people do, maybe. I don't know. I feel like people want to call it an existential crisis when they're like, I don't think this is real. I don't think you'll actually kill yourself.
Yeah.
But like, certainly like existential crisis is like the most painful times of my life.
For fucking real.
Yeah. So like, I don't know why that would make it not a big issue or not worth paying attention to. So that's kind of interesting.
I think that's a little bit of like some cloaked language.
Yeah.
Joelle's question, is that what you're looking at?
Yeah, Joelle has a really good question, I think. So she's looking at spectrum for each of us is a line, or if it's color wheel spectrum or other kind of spectrum. And I think that's a great question.
I do not know the answer.
I don't know if it's like I don't know that it's like a line. I think it's probably more like a color wheel for me. But I think what we do with risk assessment is try and make something that's like a color wheel into a line.
Mm. Yeah.
And that's like part of why it doesn't work.
Right. Well, and part of the reason it doesn't work too is that we're like giving people 3 steps and sending them off into the world and being like, this is not complex at all.
Yeah, right.
This is not just like a human life. It's hard.
Right. And I think so. Like for me, my thoughts sort of vary in intensity. Like I think about it as like, how much of my brain space is it taking up? Is it like 60%? Or because like I would say like suicide probably occupies like 10% of my brain at any given time, but sometimes not about myself. Just in general, I'm always thinking about suicide.
Just 10%.
Well, okay, so that's like when I'm sleeping. It's like 10%. I'm still thinking about suicide, and then like
when you're awake, it's at least 40.
Yeah, what I'm probably like everything's about suicide a little bit. And then sometimes it's about suicide about me. So I probably complicate the whole thing by also working in the field, and I'm sure it's complicated for you by that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking about suicide all the time.
Yeah.
Never a dull moment. But I don't it's very rare that that in my thinking about suicide it's crisis time.
Yeah.
And when it's crisis time, I'm probably more likely to be way more open about it.
Right.
Than other times. Like I think that's kind of the opposite of what a lot of people might do. But I kind of I think about like when I'm having those thoughts, it's kind of like a big red button. Like I need to push it if I want to figure out how to stay here.
When you go from like the regular stuff to like crisis time, is it like, how fast does that happen for you?
It could be really fast. The things that usually throw me off are fights with Fel. When my secure attachment is like fucked with, like the one place I feel safe, that's when it could go real fast. The from 0 to 100, like everything's fine, and then no, everything is very much not fine. I'm not okay.
Yeah.
And that's really hard. Yeah, it's fast, and I mean isn't that why we don't have suicide intervention so much?
Yeah. I mean, I think mine is actually really slow and then really, really fast.
Mm-hmm.
It like builds and builds and builds, and then like all of a sudden, like boom, it's a crisis. But like I can see it coming for a long time. I also, the more in crisis I am, the less likely I am to tell people anything. So like, you know this, right? You know that like if I disappear for a while, you're like, hey, buddy, how you doing? And I'm like, everything's fucked.
Yeah.
So like, I think that's interesting is like my response to, I think because I have felt so out of control before when I was in crisis, like so out of control that the way I like feel in control now is by like being the only one that knows.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Which is not like helpful.
Right. Because you're isolating.
Yeah. And I'm like trying to get better at that. And I'm like, whatever. It's a process. I'm learning or something.
Yeah. Definitely.
Or people are learning and they're calling me out. Whatever.
Right.
One of those is happening.
Well, no, that's more representative of me too. It's like I'll be quiet for a while, but like when the shit goes down, I'm like, hello. It's time to push the button. Everybody, I don't know. It's not good.
Yeah.
I found that that's super helpful, and no one has ever really. No one's like done anything that I found to be troublesome to my safety or anything. No one's ever called the cops on me when I've said that specific kind of thing, which is good because I know recently, like I was kind of having a hard time, and I had a tweet. I don't even remember what it was, but it was kind of one of those really angsty ones, like I feel like I'll never be okay or something. And I did get a DM that was, I got a couple of DMs that were kind of like that saccharine sweet shit that people think hope is. And it's like, I'm here for you, just hold on. And I was like, please fuckers. Like, I do not need this right now.
Yeah, I feel like what I mostly need is like, hey, that things are fucked up. You're right. I believe you. That's what I need more than anything. Because, like, sure. I think I have a lot of stuff about not having been believed about my experiences. Because, that's like a whole, psychosis or whatever thing. So I also have had, like, the cops called on me and stuff. So it's different. I think that's part of why, like, my reaction more recently. To... Huh?
I've definitely had the cops called on me, but not when I do that specific behavior.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, I've had the cops called on me so much that it's like, even for like nothing. Like when I was just like, when I wasn't suicidal, I've had cops called on me even. So because of that, like I was just writing papers. Okay. Like
too many of them
and like aggressively without leaving my room for a lot of days. But I like people, I think because of that, it's like, it was like, oh, you can't even handle like me writing papers. The world cannot handle that. Like, no, I'm not going to let you into my deep, dark, scary moments because that one was cute in comparison. You know?
Yeah.
I thought it was cute. I had like little Post-it notes all on the walls.
I feel like the next time you do this with your Post-it notes, I need to see that beautiful mind shit that you do.
Okay, yeah, I'll take pictures of it. Maybe we can auction, whatever, like we did with the Tears, but Post-it with my Post-it note pictures. Yeah, we still need
prizes.
Yes. I guess all of it's going to be about my weird mental health shit, though, so that's fun.
Look, Jess, I'm working on merch, okay?
Yeah, but maybe some of it can be about your weird stuff.
I don't know. I could sing a song, could write write a ridiculous song and sing it to the person in a voicemail or something. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't think I'm. I don't think I'm that interesting. I think you're more interesting. So.
No, it's like weird. Whatever. You're interesting too.
I
Amelia
can
says,
send
"Take my money."
people my poop selfies. Yes.
Ooh, yeah, a collection of them, like a collage of your poop selfies. That is as weird as a vial of my tears.
Doesn't
There
everybody
you go.
take selfies when they poop?
I mean, I do with you. So there's that. Hey, so Joelle said another thing, and then
God damn it, Joelle.
Julie also. So Joelle, that crisis feels extremely physical. So she said her response is to contain everything and physically bear down things. She's not sure people know how to respond to that, and she's not going to try and comfort people through her crisis. That is, I super relate to that. Like, not to support someone else or like deal with someone else's feelings about your crisis.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. I feel like every time I get on this, I just cough a lot, and I don't know what's happening.
Oh, okay. I was like, you didn't cough.
Yeah. Well, it was coming. That's why I said it. So, do you have like a super physical response to crisis?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I have like catatonia kind of physical stuff where like I can't move, and it's very, very scary. And it's definitely because I know what that comes from. I'm like, oh, hey, we don't have to feel any feelings. Nobody has to know anything. Don't move. If you move, everything will explode. And then I'm just stuck. I know that's like a really scary experience. And then usually coming out of it is like very like violent and aggressive looking or feeling, I guess. I don't know what it looks like.
Right.
I have not videotaped that.
Oh, yeah.
Also, videotaping isn't really a thing anymore. That's the way I talk about.
No. There's that BuzzFeed list that came out like yesterday or whatever that made us all feel old. I'm trying to think. I definitely do have physical responses. I crying, hyperventilating, trying to be small.
Yeah.
And being pretty silent and like not opening my eyes. There's very much like a roly-poly situation.
Yeah. Is it like a power down thing?
Yeah.
So for me, it's like my body is like, power down.
Yeah.
This is too much. We don't like it.
Yeah, I'm like a bobbing pulley. That's accurate.
Yeah.
And what else do we have?
So then Julie asks, what do you want? But I do that after the beef corner.
Well, then Julie can hold her ass on.
So, but Julie, we are going to tell you what we want from people.
Joelle says she's into your hair lately, Jess, even though it looks really normal.
Yeah. I'm having feelings. I think I'm going to go to something like kind of like coppery blonde soon, too. It's weird. I know what's happening. Am I getting old? Is that what's happening? I'm aging, but not to the cool part where I get to have white hair. This is a really good lead into beef corner. Let's start.
So you're mad at aging? Oh, wait.
No, I'm mad that
I don't have my beef corner images on this computer.
Oh. Well, I'm mad that I don't have white hair.
Beef behind your head? What about beef behind my head? Can I just pull some out of the freezer? Yes.
Yeah. Show us some beef. Because it's beef corner time. So my beef is that I'm aging in the wrong ways.
It's beef corner. You gotta hurry. Okay, you're aging in the wrong ways.
Yeah, I'm not getting white hair fast enough.
Dude.
So
I am.
That is a thing. You're getting white hair faster than me. I'm really upset about it. And you're not that much older than me, so it's not fair. Beef corner. So, yeah. That's
balsamic
my
rosemary beef steak tips from Trader Joe's.
Tips. Ooh, those are really good.
Not tits. Tips.
Just the tip.
Basic corner. Get the tips. Okay, so we're here.
Yeah.
I'm a few years older than you.
Yeah, but not older enough that it's like fair that you get to have more white hairs than me.
Okay, so here's what happened. Infertility. Infertility made us both really gray. So.
All right. Well, I don't really know how to manufacture that without some like expensive surgery.
Yeah. What else are you mad about?
All right. Well, I guess I don't get to have white hair the natural way, so now I have to do some other shit with it.
I mean, it's like the cool ass gray right now.
I know.
I think
I'm just having feelings about it because someone called it normal, and I'm never going to let it go.
Oh, I know. This has been going on for weeks.
Yes. Okay, can you bring on your beef with Chick-fil-A now?
Oh my God. I've had beef with Chick-fil-A since I was 14 years old. Number fucking one. And that's before I knew that I was a big homo. Because my marching band got sponsored by Chick-fil-A, and every week before games, we were fed Chick-fil-A for a whole season. That was very bad. And I swore I would never eat Chick-fil-A again, and I didn't. And then I turned into a big old homo. And then I found out that Chick-fil-A hated homos. Like, not super shocking. So now they've announced that they're not gonna they're not gonna donate to anti-LGBT organizations like the Salvation Army anymore. And it's just like, okay, so, like, how many fucking years worth of your bullshit and donating to conversion therapy and shit, and I'm supposed to want to eat a chicken sandwich now? Fuck off. No, I don't want that shit. The secret is pickle juice. Make your chicken sandwich at home.
Well, like, are they really gonna not donate to anti-gay stuff? Or are they just like, now the guy, like the whatever fucking dude that owns that, I mean, right? Some white dude owns Chick-fil-A, right?
I'm sure.
Yeah, so whatever fucking white dude owns Chick-fil-A is just gonna like privately donate to those people. So it's still fucking Chick-fil-A money. So that's lies.
Yeah. I mean,
capitalism.
I'm also still mad at the Salvation Army. Have been mad at them for years. Will always be mad at them. Yeah, I'd just rather give my gay money to some other people who are into butt sex. I don't know.
Yeah. Or whatever. We're just queers.
Yeah? Yeah, I'm not into butt sex. But, you know, like theoretical butt sex.
Yeah.
What else? What else am I mad about?
Theoretical butt sex. I am mad about what? Okay, so every white dude in Hollywood is just a raper, I feel like, now.
It seems that way.
They're all getting rapey all the time. You can't like any of them. I just wish white people could do better. More.
Who got rapey this time?
Why do you have to use your power to get rapey? Jeff Goldblum's all rape apologisting.
Oh, yeah,
it's and I'm not, surprised by that. That's not, I guess.
Definitely
it's not news. It was news to me. But, it's just, really fucking disappointing that, every time it's not surprising. God, fucking do better, right?
Seriously. Yeah, that was surprising to me. And, I don't give a single fuck about Jeff Goldblum. But, yeah, that was shocking to me. I thought I thought something new happened. I was like, fuck, we just had Jeff Goldblum.
No, I mean, I'm sure something new is happening. Something new is definitely fucking happening right now. But, it's just, constant white dude rape all the time. And that's just in, Hollywood. Just in Hollywood, there's constant white dude rape. Not even the rest of the places. And it's can we just not use, rape as a weapon against people anymore? Can we I feel like maybe at some point we could all just agree, rape is not okay, and then we don't do it. That seems why I don't understand why, like 20 years from now, I'm still going to have the same beefs about rape.
I mean, yeah.
That's
I just went
fucking
down
annoying.
some weird fucking rabbit hole in my brain about how the Department of Defense is probably funding rapists to rape. I don't know what happened.
Oh, they
Thanks for
definitely
that.
are. They definitely are. If you look at the like statistics about rape in the military, holy
Right.
shit. Ugh. Yeah, just like quit raping. You don't have to be a raper. You can still be a shitty white dude without raping. Like, there's so many ways to be a shitty. Like, I don't want you to be a shitty white dude, but like, you don't have to do it with rape. It's just like raising the bar. It's like if the bar is like 150,000 feet below sea level, could we raise it to 149,999 feet and get rid of fucking rape?
That's all that rape would do. That's as far as the bar would go.
I don't know. There's so many things that white dudes do that are fucked up. I can't even. I don't know. I mean, maybe it's not rape. I feel like it's a low bar, a very low bar to say just like quit raping.
I mean, yeah, everyone should quit raping.
Yeah.
I agree.
Anyway, so my beef is rape apparently,
Yes.
but specifically rape as this like tool of like white supremacy, like power bullshit in Hollywood. It sucks. But everywhere too. It's just Oh and
man.
Also, Leia has a good point. Like, why don't we talk about rape and suicide prevention? I know lots of people that want to talk about that more.
Yeah.
They don't
be
get
everyone.
to because and like people talk about. I think in crisis work we talk about it for sure because people call. Lena's here, and Lena's here just in time to talk about sexual assault and suicide, which is my beef today. White dudes getting rapey. So, I think we could talk about that more in suicide prevention, and we don't. Well, right, we can't because we're so busy talking about how suicide's a disorder.
Right.
Which is my constant beef.
Yeah.
Pathologizing a very normal thing to think about, like suicide.
Pretty sure it's not a disorder.
Yeah.
But I mean, let's do some more psychological autopsies and find out.
Oh, God, yeah. That would be helpful.
What else are we mad about?
Were you raped even on the psychological autopsy? I'm going to, look this up right now.
I can't remember. I have the form somewhere.
I do, too. Does anybody out there on Facebook Live know if it's on the psychological autopsy form to even ask if someone was raped?
No one of these hoes knows.
One of these hoes knows. Another piece of mine. Because they're so busy asking, like, did you seem sad before you died by suicide? Okay.
Were they sad?
What else you got for beefs?
Fel says I'm mad about grad school. What am I mad about specifically? I mean, like a lot of things, but... Debt.
Yeah, debt always. Debt always.
I feel like...
Being an asshole to your professors?
I'm not beef about being an asshole for professors yet. Like... And then I'll beef with them.
It sounds like maybe interpersonal violence is on that form. Maybe, but not, like, specifically rape. But also, and then also, like, if a white cis dude who's, like, maybe also been rapey is the one doing the psychological autopsy, they're certainly not going to ask about rape.
Reminder. Beef corner.
Okay.
Tips.
You don't have specific...
What else am I mad about?
Issues with specific professors yet.
No, but, like, obviously I'm gonna. Currently I have an issue with myself for filling out the wrong FAFSA form because I'm a fucking doofus, but, you know, it's fine.
Do you just have to do it again?
Yeah, I already did it. Oh. But, like, I don't know, I called today being like...
bullshit.
Oh, they're so dumb. I was like, why don't I have a financial aid package? And they were like, well, you have to fill out the FAFSA. And I was like, okay, but I did. And it was processed. And they were like, you gotta fill out the FAFSA, and then FAFSA, and they're talking and talking and talking, and they're like, we have the wrong one. And I was like, you could have told that moments ago.
Yeah, that would have helped.
Like, come the fuck on. I gotta go to therapy.
Yeah.
No, I don't think I have any other beef. Like I was telling you earlier, I feel pretty foggy, so I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, that was a good amount of beef. School, Chick-fil-A, Salvation Army, white dudes getting rapey.
That's true.
A lot of beefs.
Yeah. I mean, if we had the opportunity, we'd yell about things all day long. So.
Leia wants to know if I have lasers for eyes, but I think it's just my...
Wait, I have them
These
too.
are glasses I paid literally $5 for. Again, on Zenny, in case they ever want to sponsor me and give me more glasses. And I think that my ring light shows up in them because I didn't pay for that extra thing.
Yeah. Well, I paid for the extra thing, and it's not. Like, you can still see.
But not like mine. Mine is like,
woo. You have a double.
Aggressive. Yeah. Okay, so beefs. Chick-fil-A, Salvation Army, school, white dudes getting rapey. Good job with the beef corner. Should we move on?
Yep.
All right. So let's talk about, we talked about how the spectrum's like a weird color wheel thing. And it's complicated how suicide shows up for people. Shocking that people are complex. And yeah, can't be reduced to a scale so easily. So what kinds of things do people need at different places on the spectrum?
Yeah. Obviously that is specific to the person. One of the things that pisses me off about suicide prevention. We're back here.
We're back to the beef.
No, I think there's, like we talk about self-care a lot, but we don't really talk about what that means and really introspecting and figuring out what the fuck you need. Like, yoga is not going to save you. Like most of us, it's not going to do that.
Right.
And I found that to be really frustrating when I had to finally sit down and go, okay, what the fuck do I need? Like, what do I need? What stupid shit makes me really happy and can pull me out of.
I think also, oftentimes, part of the crisis is not knowing what you need.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it is definitely that. So, being able to educate people about, okay, well, think about what it is that makes you happy. Like when you're just dicking around. Like I remember I used to love to walk around the park over by Lincoln Center in New York with a big iced coffee. And when I was really in it, I would go do that.
Yeah.
And it just took me out of it. I mean, that's just an example, but we don't tell people to think about that shit.
I have some weird things that I do when I'm in the intense crisis place that would never be okay most of the time to talk about a doctor or something with.
Mm.
So for example, one of the best ways I can make sure I live through a really intense suicide moment is to get really, really fucking drunk until I pass out.
One drink later.
I can have more than one drink.
I know.
I can have so many drinks. Yeah. Sure. But that's not something you can put on your safety plan usually.
Yeah. Well, because it's a whole different thing.
Yeah. So sometimes the things that I need in my really intense crisis place are not cool with the mental health field, I think.
Yeah.
Or things like self-harming.
Yeah.
When I was really suicidal, totally saved my life before.
Christine just said that. Christine just said that. We're actually, hopefully we have a self-harm and means reduction.
Yeah.
I can't talk.
Harm reduction.
Thank you.
Self-harm, as harm reduction.
I can't talk right now. So hopefully we're doing that at AAS. I think that'll be
cool.
a really important conversation to have.
Yeah.
Definitely, I would be willing to bet that cutting myself got me through like a lot of really dark shit.
Yeah.
Doesn't work anymore, but for me.
I also do things like hold my breath until it feels like I'm going to die, because I know I'm not going to die that way, but like it gets me the feeling of dying, which sometimes helps.
Right.
So
for me now, it's just like if I can pick up what I'm putting down for myself, I just need to go the fuck to sleep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sleep is real elusive for me, though, generally, when I'm not doing well.
How long what's your average been lately?
I'm doing, like, better, kind of, except I do 3 hours and then a break where I'm awake and then 3 more hours. So that's better than before because it's not 5 hours or less.
Right.
But, yeah. I'm a bad sleeper. I don't know.
You get a lot of shit done.
Yeah. So then here's the other thing. When I'm on the like less intense part of the spectrum too, I really need people to like have a tolerance for talking about suicide with me. Which is interesting because like once it's more intense, I don't want to talk to you about my suicidal thoughts, but I need people to be able to talk about like not just suicide, but like existential questions with me. Like talking about things mattering and stuff, or like things not mattering. So that's interesting. And I think a lot of times suicide prevention or intervention tries to go to this place where we're going to like, let's make sure we talk to them about living and stuff. Mm-hmm. But like, I need someone to like talk to me about how life is meaningless.
Yeah.
Most of the time, like in most of my life. And I have people who do that with me all the time, but yeah, maybe if I was ever going to go back to therapy again, and I had a therapist who would like talk to me about life being meaningless, I would like therapy more.
I mean, I think that therapist is probably out there, honestly.
Yeah, I'm sure they are. But, like, I also need them to, like, not want to hospitalize me because I hear voices and stuff.
Correct.
And it's just, like, all the things that I need from a therapist are really, seems like, so far, not been able to find one.
It's a long list.
Peer support.
Hey.
And, yeah, peer support is, like, the thing I need in general across the board is, like, I need to be able to talk with people who understand suicide personally.
Yeah. Yeah, Phil and I were talking about that last night, about just like how I kind of feel like the best therapists for a person are going to be people who have similar experiences, and how, you know, like, hopefully I don't fuck up this whole grad program and then I do become a clinician. Like, the things that I want to focus on are suicide and infertility. Like, those are the things that I just understand the most and the best. And like, infertility is just one of those things that people cannot fucking understand, and unless they've been there, they can't. There's no way.
No.
You know, and who better than somebody who's been there? And I think absolutely the same with suicidal thoughts. Like, I would love to have had a therapist at some point who was like, yeah, I've fucking been there.
Yep.
Not good.
I think it also, like, it just also raises your, so I'm going to just use this clinical term. So, like, therapists need distress tolerance about talking about these things.
Yeah.
Providers need that. And I think there's so much distress tolerance that comes from having experienced it, because we understand that there's a spectrum, even though we don't have to understand how it's different for everybody. Like, I don't know exactly what yours is like. I mean, we've talked about stuff a lot, so I have some ideas, but like just knowing that it is and then not reacting to everything like a crisis and not trying to capture it in I don't know, like on a scale of 1 to 10 or whatever is really like I think really helpful, just being able to like sit in those feelings and know that like you can have someone can have those thoughts and they can be very intense and it's not something we have to do anything about right now.
Yeah.
Right? That like they have to be able to tolerate that agitation about like that urgency to act as a provider in the same way that they're asking us as suicidal people to like tolerate that urgency to act until we're out of that crisis situation. And if you can't do that, like what the fuck are you doing in this field?
Right.
And it's hard and sometimes it's going to be scary.
Always.
And
so always it's going to be scary.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's jokes about suicide.
Well, not everybody has the same sense of humor we do.
I know. It's really unfortunate because we are very funny. Not today, but other days we've been pretty funny.
It's true.
Yeah.
I'm relying on my like derpy faces today.
Ew, don't do that. You know that one face that you made? Oh, I hate it so much. I hate the other night I had a dream.
Ooh.
I had a dream that your kid makes that face at me now and sends me photos, but they were older. So your kids were like, I don't know, like fucking 10 and sending me like photos of them making that face.
I'm going to cultivate the skill in both of them.
Yeah, I hate that face. So it makes me so uncomfortable.
It is the worst thing that I can do with my face, truly.
It's so gross. I hate it so much. But then also I kind of love it. I don't know.
It's awful.
It's bad. I have really strong, weird feelings about it. So.
Yeah, it's pretty terrible. Fel keeps looking at me and I'm like, why doesn't she think this is funny? And then I realize she can't hear us. She doesn't know what's happening over here.
Ah, that's good.
So, yeah. Wait, we have 12 minutes left. What are we? Are we behind? Are we on track? What's the deal?
I think we're kind of on track. Like we were going to talk about what you can do to support people in different places on that spectrum. We kind of did that. And then we were going to talk about how thinking about suicide might be protective or helpful for people.
Mm-hmm.
Too, which I sort of touched on, but like, in my experience in peer support, people who have like a lot of suicidal thoughts in their life, it's like it is often helpful for them. Like that suicide plays some kind of critical role in them staying alive. And so that can be kind of difficult to like tease out when is this a crisis and when is this helpful, because sometimes it's also helpful in a crisis, right? Like for me it is extremely important that I have the option to kill myself. I like anytime I feel like that is being taken away or could be taken away, I really, really lose my shit. And so, because it's like something that I feel like I always have control over. And I have had a lot of times in my life where I didn't feel like I had any control.
Yeah.
So like anything that feels like a safety contract or even like a safety plan where you're going to make me sign it or, and you know, like that all feels like much more harmful to me than just having suicide as an option. Right. Like having suicide as an option is like what makes me less distressed.
Yeah. I mean, we talk about futility and hopelessness and like not having, no matter what the option is, like whether or not other people are fucking comfortable with it, knowing that you have an option that could theoretically make it better, whether or not that's true of suicide. Like knowing that's there is really important for a lot of people. You're certainly not the only person I know who feels that way. I know a lot of people who feel that way.
And like the things that scare me the most, I have like suicide plans for. Like,
I know.
So, right. So like forced treatment or like apocalypse scenarios. I have like agreements about how long I will stay alive in the apocalypse before I get to kill myself. This is how I talk about it. Before I get to kill myself.
No, dude, for real.
Because like one time the power went out, and my friend Carly was basically like, "Don't kill yourself. It's not time yet. Like the power is just out for a few hours." But it's true. Like I have, so like those scenarios where I feel like things would get really out of my control, I want to have more suicide plans for them.
For sure. In a zombie apocalypse, I am going. Good fucking die. No, I don't
die first.
I am not interested in some Walking Dead bullshit. No.
My whole apocalypse plan is die first.
It would take them 3 minutes to take my ass out. I'm not a survivor like that. I'm too indoorsy for this bullshit.
So indoorsy.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know. I feel like there's really a lot to be said for asking the question, like, what can I do to help you? Like, really allowing people to make calls for themselves. Like, my therapist asked me last week, because we've been doing kind of some hard shit, and she was like, if this gets worse, like what? Because I've had some thoughts in the past month or so. She's like, if this gets worse, like, what's our plan? And I was like, I'll tell you. And maybe that's not true of everyone, but I would tell her.
Yeah.
So it's, I think, letting people have the responsibility of, like, agency.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
It's interesting because I feel like, so I wouldn't tell people, but I also feel like people would know and they would ask me and I wouldn't lie.
Right. I did that to
you
today.
If you ask me, I'm not going to lie to you, but I'm not offering information up. I'm just like, hey, I have disappeared.
Right.
You have texted me 4 times and I've not responded.
Well, I did that to you today. You were giving me one-word answers and I was like,
yeah.
What the fuck? Like, are you okay? Yes. Are you lying to me? No.
No, it's just like at the gym. Yeah.
Fuck. Just tell me what you're doing.
It's hard to tell people when you're at the gym what you're doing because, because if you're me, you're also like reading a book and listening to a book at the same time. And so then that's adding another task too hard.
I can't with you. Hey, have you read that book Heavy by Jess Stohlmann-Rainey?
I don't know. What is it? What?
It's a memoir.
I can cover sometimes to remember.
It literally is orange and says Heavy on it in big letters. It's pretty good. I'm working on it very slowly because I don't read anymore.
Oh, you know what? You shouldn't just Google Heavy. Heavy book. Oh, nope. Heavy book is going to be stupid. Jess Stohlmann?
Yeah.
I have not. I'm going to read it.
Yeah. Or at least read the sample. Sorry about that. We went to our own little place.
Yeah. But you all should read it too, and then maybe one time we'll talk about it on here.
Yeah, it's about like fatness and race and lots of things people don't want to talk about.
Did I tell you? I don't know if I told you this. Here's a cool thing that happened. I put a book on the internet that I wanted that was called Thickening Fat, and 3 people got it for me, and which was cool. I didn't think anyone would. I was just like, hey, if anyone feels like getting me a present, I like this book, and it's very expensive. And 3 people got it for me for my birthday. One person anonymously sent it to me from the internet. I don't know.
Oh, wow.
And then 2 friends got it for me.
Right.
And so what's cool, I was only able to return one of them.
So you have an extra.
They make it to print. So like they print it for each person that orders it.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, now I get to have a cool little fat studies group read it together, which I recommend everyone do. Is if you're nerdy, you should get people to read books and nerd with you. Book clubs are dope.
I can't believe you didn't talk to Phil about that.
About thickening fat?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I haven't scheduled anything yet. I'm just saying people get to read it now.
I'm just telling you.
Anyway, if you want to be on my book club, now it's on the internet and you can all read the book with me. So we can pass those books around. I'm really excited about it. I'm also very interested in general in like thinking about fatness and suicide, and nobody's talking about that at all, really. And I think it's because people think fat people should want to kill themselves, so that's fucked up. We're going back to beef corner.
Well, and disabled people too, right? How much do we hear that?
Yep.
And then there's that movie about the guy in the wheelchair.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Right. So we kind of got off track there.
Yeah.
But thinking about suicide helps me back to the track. It's been really helpful for me and really protective. And actually, never been about being fat, just for the record, in case anybody was wondering. I don't get suicidal about being fat.
No. No.
So, yeah, that's not why.
I mean, fuck, but also, like, when I was, after Robin Williams died and I got thrown onto Glenn Beck.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Glenn Beck. God, that fucking, I have beef. I still don't know the difference between seals and sea lions.
Dude.
Robin Williams died. I went to Texas. Sally Spencer Thomas, somehow they contacted her and they were like, Glenn Beck wants you. And I was like, what? That's very bad. I am not the person. But I dealt with the producers and I set everything up and like I have my laptop like it is right now, which you can't see, but it's on a fucking box and like shit's all wonky. And I got ring light on. So I did it all and I did the sound checks with them. And then fucking they're like, oh, well, you know, actually, now that you set that up, we're going to talk to Kevin Hines first. And I was like, wait, what? So that was pretty beefy. I was annoyed that I did all the work and I got pushed to the back seat because I don't know about miracles. But Glenn Beck asked me, he was like, do you regret it? And I was just like, no. And so my point here is that, like, we think about suicide, like, all of these experiences we've had that, like, sucked or whatever, like, we get to do what we want for a living because of them.
Yeah.
So, like, that's pretty awesome to me. I don't know, like, it sucks that I was there, but, like, I love what I do and the people I do it with. So, it helps me.
Yeah, I don't, like, regret being suicidal. I regret some, like, weird other shit I did when I was not feeling good.
Oh, my God.
Like, being a piece of shit human.
Agreed.
I regret that a little bit. But I don't regret being suicidal.
Yeah, I definitely did some weird shit that, like, with white dudes, no less. Like, I am lucky to be alive.
Yeah.
Someone brought a gun to my house once because I was doing dumb shit. So.
Ooh. That's weird.
Good times.
Yeah.
So, point is, shit happens on a spectrum. Why are you barking? Hey! Dolly! Come here. You guys are ruining my podcast smoking.
Yeah, I feel like that was the cue, right? That's the end.
To go out with the angst and smoke. They're out there smoking cloves.
Mm. Well, this was a weird one, but I feel like we talked about cool stuff.
We did. It's been a couple weeks for me.
Yeah. You are not funny.
Funny.
But
There are a lot of
But
good things happening in the chat, though. So I gotta go back.
I know.
Do we want to discuss any of those
sometimes
before we
the
go?
way
It's so hard.
Regret liking a car. Sea lions. That hypothesis. Speech development. Are super interested in a book club. I've been wondering if I just like post some stuff about what I'm reading if people want to read with me, because I read all the time.
Probably, yeah, you
and
do.
We don't have to have like a scheduled book club, but we could like talk on the internet.
I mean,
so
fuck
put
else
it in
aren't
the
we talking
comments
about?
if you want to read with me.
Read with me. Read with me on Twitter.
Read with me.
All right, well, I guess I'm gonna go drink a beer and like not pack for Florida, because that seems to be what we're doing today, is not packing.
That's good. Well, you can pack tomorrow. You'll have to.
I don't like it.
Yeah. So my summary of tonight is Chick-fil-A is still bad. Don't trust those motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Also,
ever.
don't trust a white man, because they get rapey all the time, especially in Hollywood. And people are mean about fat people. And let's read a book together.
And go to.
Oh yeah, don't call the cops when people are suicidal.
Trios and bites. Yes, don't call the cops when suicidal. We need to have Sam Dillon Finch up on this bitch once they get back from treatment.
Yeah. True.
All right.
All right. Night, everybody.
Peace, hoes.
Bye.